Hello Year 9. This is the brand new topic in biology called health. Hopefully you have had the booklet sent out to you before half term. If you put your name on the front of the booklet and your class, and you will see that there's a few homeworks on the front that we will be completing, and you'll be set during the next weeks or so. Open up the booklet then to the very first page. And you should see these 4 circles. Now the significance of these 4 circles, these are the 4 core purposes. The new curriculum in Wales, wants to make sure that every single subject addresses these 4 core purposes. So what are they? Well, they intend to make all of our students in Wales ambitious, capable learners. So what do we mean by that? Ambitious means stretching yourself, okay? So in this particular unit, we'll be looking at building up a knowledge on health, microorganisms, which is very relevant at the moment, and how the body defends itself against disease, and also to start to look at problem-solving tasks like identifying the best bacteria. You'll be undertaking some research on different microorganisms and diseases like cancer and these HeLa cells, which I'll be explaining more about, and using digital technologies creatively to find and analyse and communicate this information. There'll be questioning and practical tasks on aseptic technique for the best bacteria killer investigation, and also looking at calculating units of alcohol at the start of this unit. Communicating effectively in your instruction text and using number effectively in calculating units of alcohol and graphing skills throughout the booklet. We also want to make students enterprising, creative contributors, so you will lead and play different roles in teams effectively when you do return to school and responsibly during practical tasks. You'll connect and apply your knowledge and skills to create creative recount text, one is called Bert the bacteria and the other is Vic the virus. And looking at thinking creatively to reframe and solve problems, such as investigating which substances might be best at killing bacteria. We want you to be ethically informed citizens, so to find, evaluate and use evidence informing your views on informed consent of use of cells, and also development of vaccines, which is an extremely contemporary issue at the moment in Wales, on the creation and rollout of the COVID-19 vaccine to provide what we call herd immunity. And finally, we all want you to be healthy and confident individuals, to have secure values and are establishing your ethical beliefs on what we call informed consent to use individuals' DNA and or cells, to know how to find information and support on things like cancer, alcohol and other diseases, to take measured decisions and manage risk in practical tasks, So they're just some of the things. So on the second page, there is the Close the Gap sheet. And then I want you to turn to page 3. Page 4, actually, apologies. On my booklet, the numbers have kind of cut off the bottom of the pages. So if you number those pages, so this page with the diagram, what is health on it, which is going to be our mind map, this is page 4. So if you want to pause the video at this point and start going over the numbers in the corner of the pages, because they do seem to have just crept off the edge of the pages, that way you'll know exactly what page you're on, as we go through these lessons. So what I would like you to do is to pause the video at this point and to decide for me what things make up a healthy you, And it can be a physical thing, it can be a mental thing, So I've got all these arrows on here. These are my ideas. You may have the same ideas as me. You may have some different ideas, and you may have some additional ones to me, So pause the video and see if you can write down as many things as possible that makes a healthy individual. So the kinds of things that I've got on my mind map, I started off with physical health, and we know that you're encouraged to try and exercise at least 5 times 60 minutes. We've all been out and about doing our daily walks, getting out the house, hopefully getting some fresh air. Really important to get that into your lungs, and to not just sit in the house, to get out there and get some exercise. We've also got good personal hygiene, okay? So that means that we do need to get out of our beds in the morning and give our teeth a good clean on a daily basis, preferably at least twice a day, okay, before going to bed as well, and showering regularly. We don't want that build-up of dirt and bacteria that leads then to body odour, okay, appearing. Balanced diet, so we should need from our year 8 work some carbohydrates, fats, proteins, vitamins and minerals, fibre, water. All of those things make up a balanced diet. Carbohydrates, if I miss those out, okay? But it's not about having an equal amount of each of these things. A balanced diet is about having a little of each of them, okay? And then we've got alongside that the 5 a day, the idea of having 5 portions of fruit and vegetables. That could be frozen, it could be tinned, it can be fresh, okay? It can be fruit juices, but getting those vitamins and minerals in that will help particularly your immune system, which is so important at the moment. Keeping hydrated, okay? Making sure that you drink plenty of fluids during the day, and we don't mean cans of Coke, okay, and pop. Making sure that you have some water, okay, perhaps a little bit of tea or coffee, perhaps not too much caffeine, okay, keeping your body hydrated. Then we've got a really important one, looking after your mental health. This, I would say, is equally as important as your physical health, and the two go hand in hand often together. Actually improving your physical health, okay, will impact and improve mental health, okay? And your mental health, having a good, healthy mental attitude, will improve your physical health as well. So the two often go hand in hand together. Not smoking, okay, because this can increase the risk of lung cancer, and we'll be looking at cancers later. Not taking any drugs, illegal drugs, the odd paracetamol and flu remedy, that's absolutely fine, okay, but we're talking about illegal drugs here, okay. Reduced alcohol consumption or no alcohol consumption, okay. Certainly under the age of 18 you shouldn't be drinking alcohol because it damages your body organs and they are still developing, so we're going to be looking at that. Making sure you get out and about. So this physical health, if you're exercising inside, that's absolutely fine. But also it's important to get out and get some fresh air, as I said, into your lungs, and also getting enough daylight, even though it might not necessarily be sunny at the moment. Okay, getting out and about to get enough vitamin D. And the final one I've got here is healthy, positive and respectful relationships. So have a look at what's on your mind map. If you're missing any of these that I've got on here, add them on. If I'm missing any, okay, it would be interesting for you to tell me those, okay, that you think that there's something obvious that we've missed out, and we can share that when we're going through our live Teams chat lessons. Turn to page 5 now. Now we're going to be looking at this particular aspect, okay, of keeping a happy, healthy body. We're going to be looking at alcohol. And the first thing I want you to do is to brainstorm as many different types of alcoholic drinks you know. I don't mean brands, so I don't mean things like Carling, okay, or Jack Daniels, okay. They are what we would call a brand of a drink. Actually, what are those types of drinks? So pause the video. If you like, you can write them next to the wine glasses at the top of the page, okay, just to jot these things down as a starter activity. So hopefully you've got that there are spirits. Spirits include things like our whiskey, vodka, gin, things like Bailey's, which is a brand, okay, which is a cream liqueur. Then we've got our beers and our ales. So beers that might be branded, okay, lagers, things like our Carling and our Foster's. Cider, we would have, I'm trying to think of a cider based brand, okay, liqueurs, which are very, very strong and concentrated, like an apple liqueur or a cherry liqueur. Aperitifs, okay, which are drinks that you often have prior to a meal. And alcopops. These are just many different types, and big one there they've missed off of there are things like the wines and the champagnes, okay, or fizzy drinks, okay, like that. So there's some types of alcohol. Now you've got this paragraph, okay, which is on page 5, and as I go through it, okay, I want you to underline the key words, okay, so that you understand what these words mean. So in the UK, alcohol is considered to be, the first missing word, socially acceptable. So please underline that or highlight it in the text. So what does this word mean, socially acceptable? It means that if you're sat outside a pub, okay, with your parents, it's absolutely socially acceptable, okay, for people to see other people having a glass or two of beer or wine or whatever. People don't frown about it. However, it becomes socially unacceptable when people have had far too much and are behaving in a way that is not acceptable to most members of the public. We know it's legal to drink above the age of 18. However, in some countries this is not the case, and drinking alcohol is considered, okay, illegal. So if you've been on holiday to places like some of the North African countries like Tunisia, okay, and Morocco, for some people in those countries, okay, it would be illegal for them to drink alcohol. Guests, visitors to the country, tourists may be able to buy alcoholic drinks in bars and restaurants, but people who live there may not be allowed to do that. We consider alcohol is a drug. Now, a lot of people find that quite unusual to think about, that alcohol is a drug. And the definition of a drug is any chemical that changes your body in some way. So it can change the way your nervous system works in the body, alcohol. And what it does is it slows your nervous system down, so you don't react as quickly as you would do normally. And obviously, as a result of this, it's quite dangerous. Your body can become dependent on drugs, which means you can become addicted to them, and you can become addicted to alcohol, and your tolerance will build and you need more and more to get the same effect that you're looking for when you drink alcohol. So lots of people drink alcohol for lots of different reasons, to either be sociable or to relax or to de-stress themselves, sometimes they feel, okay, but it's when you know that you need more of it to help get that feeling, okay, that you may be becoming addicted to that particular drug, alcohol. As we said, alcohol is a type of drug called a depressant, okay? This means it slows down the brain and nervous system. It doesn't make you depressed or sad, okay? Although some drinks are more prone to doing this than others. Alcohol also slows down your reaction times, as we said, because it is a depressant and it works on the nervous system. So this is why it's dangerous to drive a car or operate machinery with alcohol in your system. So what I want you to do based on that paragraph that we've just talked about is there are some words at the bottom of the page. We have got drug, socially acceptable, depressant, drink driving, addicted, and alcoholism. At the moment, their definitions are not matched correctly, okay? So drug is not a type of drug that slows down the brain and nervous system, okay? So I want you to take 6 different coloured pencils, okay? Colour in each of these a different colour. So if I can get my different colours up. So I've got a yellow and I've got green. I'm sure you can do a far neater job than I can. I've got let's have a blue and purple, and our last colour will go orange, okay? And if you colour the correct definition, okay, to match them. Pause the video and have a go at this task now. Okay, so we should have the correct answers. This one, a drug, is a substance that the body can become addicted to. Socially acceptable is any legal activity that most people consider is normal. Depressant is a type of drug that slows down the brain and the nervous system. Drink driving is against the law to do this if you're over the limit. Addicted, your body needs a drug to get you through the day. And alcoholism is addiction to the consumption of alcoholic beverages, and it's sometimes called alcohol dependency. In other words, you become dependent on the alcohol to function. turn over the page to page 6. Now we're going to start to look at, okay, a recap of organs of the body and how alcohol affects organs of the body. So we've got, first of all, on this page, in the middle we've got our alcohol and the kinds of diseases, okay, that excessive alcohol consumption can cause are things like polycystic kidney disease. Now this is a healthy kidney here. And this kidney, okay, can you see it's got lots of like little pock marks? It looks like a crater like the surface of Mars. And obviously this will damage the kidney. Now the kidney's main job is to filter your blood and take out the waste to create your urine. So your urine would travel down here, down this little tube, okay, to the bladder where it would be stored. So the alcohol does this to the kidneys. It also does a similar kind of thing to the liver. Now the liver is an organ that's responsible for breaking down toxins in your body, and alcohol itself is a toxin. So by damaging the liver, it actually causes a disease called cirrhosis of the liver, okay? It means the liver is unable to get rid of the toxins and the poisons, and basically somebody who has cirrhosis of the liver dies fairly slowly, unfortunately. It's not a very nice death, okay, because they are poisoning their body because their body cannot get rid of the toxins that it's receiving. We know that excessive amounts of alcohol can cause what we call a congested heart, increases the risk of heart disease and damage to the heart muscles and the coronary artery. So a healthy heart would look like this, a congested heart, almost like looks a little bit puffy, okay? Looks like it's swollen. And then we know that it causes damage to brain function, okay? Heavy drinking. This is a 15-year-old non-drinker. Okay, so we can see the brain activity is, highest brain activity is yellow, red, and then lowest is pink. And this is a 15-year-old heavy drinker, very little brain activity going on there, okay? And that damage is permanent, okay? It's not reversed. So as a quick recap of work from Key Stage 3 in Year 7 and 8, this is our diagram of the human body. Can you identify the common body organs and add the labels to your diagram? So pause the video and have a go. The words are at the bottom of the page. So this is page 6. So it says label the organs: brain, heart, esophagus, which is another word for food pipe, lungs, stomach, small intestines, large intestines, kidney, liver, and bladder. Pause the video, off you go. So, hopefully you've got the first one. Give yourself a tick if you've got brain. Trachea, okay, is the tube that actually comes down towards the lungs. I know we've had esophagus on there. Esophagus would actually be hiding just behind there to go towards the stomach, okay? There are two separate tubes. Then we've got lung itself. And this is the left lung and this is the right lung, okay? Because it's always drawn as if it appears in your body. Heart in the middle, but slightly to the left-hand side of the lungs. Stomach, and we can just about see that pale pink tube just there. That's the tube, the esophagus, okay, that's going behind the back of this here. Liver, kidney. The large intestine is the one that goes around the outside, and the small intestine is on the inside, okay? So, turn to the next page and turn the page sideways so that you can see it. Now, you've got 4 boxes on here, and the 4 boxes require you, okay, to add some labels to them in the correct order. So this is what you've got, okay, the blank boxes. There are some statements that are going to appear, and we're going to add them to the diagram in the correct places about how alcohol moves through your body. Now, the first one, pretty obvious, okay? We take alcohol in through our mouth. We don't inhale it through our nose. We don't inject it, okay? We don't take it through our eyeballs or our ears, okay? We actually ingest it through our mouth. So, number 1 is this label here pointing to the mouth. and this is where alcohol enters the body through the mouth. Add that label to the video, pause it, or to your booklet, sorry, pause the video, okay, if you need to. Number 2, from the mouth, it goes down the esophagus, okay, down towards the stomach. And the alcohol enters the stomach, and it can sometimes irritate the stomach here. From the stomach, it's going to go into the liver and the gut. So it goes into the gut first. This is the gut, the small and the large intestine. Alcohol is absorbed into the blood through the gut wall, and then some of it is taken to the liver, as we said, to detoxify it. In other words, to break it down into harmless chemicals. So if too much goes here, it's going to cause damage to the liver. It's going to cause hardening of the cells. And then finally, it goes to the brain, because once it's in the bloodstream, okay, it will be able to travel all around the body and particularly go to the brain, where it starts to slow down your reaction times, okay? So pause the video, make sure you've added those labels to your diagram. So in a little summary over the page, which organs does alcohol affect and how? I'm going to ask you to write a brief description of how each organ is affected by alcohol in both the short and the long term. If you already know some of these, pause the video at this point and add the ones on that you know, and then you can add on the other ones as we go through this information. So in terms of the brain's communication pathways and reaction times are affected by alcohol, because we know that alcohol is a depressant, as we said, a drug that slows down the nervous system, and your brain and your spinal cord is part of this nervous system. Chronic drinkers of alcohol. A chronic drinker means somebody who is drinking excessively, okay, and over a long period of time, okay, regularly. So chronic drinkers of alcohol are more likely to develop certain cancers, particularly of the mouth, the throat, and the esophagus. You also find that breast cancer is more common in women who are drinking excessively too, okay? The heart, drinking a lot over a long time or too much on a single occasion, can actually damage the heart muscle cells, causing problems like cardiomyopathy, okay, and arrhythmias, stroke and high blood pressure. Arrhythmias means irregular heartbeat. Stroke is when you get a blood clot that can travel around the body, and particularly if it gets to the brain, it can cause a stroke and can cause paralysis and even death. High blood pressure, increasing the pressure which the heart pumps the blood around the body, okay, and cardiomyopathy, okay, where the heart muscle cells, okay, kind of atrophy. They don't work as they should do. They are not beating. They're not pumping the blood as they should do. The liver then, heavy drinking takes a toll on the liver and can lead to a variety of problems. Okay, the obvious one is what we call cirrhosis of the liver, but you can also have inflammation of the liver, okay, what we call a fatty liver, and alcoholic hepatitis as well, damaging the liver. Stomach distress. Drinking too much can cause bloating, gas and ulcers in the stomach. Basically, the stomach gets irritated, and this is why sometimes when people have drunk too much, it actually makes them vomit, okay, because it's irritating their stomach lining and their esophagus, and so it makes them throw it back up again. The pancreas is a leaf-shaped organ that's actually underneath the stomach on this side. I don't know why it's pointing over to on this side, but it would be underneath. And the alcohol causes the pancreas to produce toxic substances that can lead to what we call pancreatitis, a disease of the pancreas where it's unable to do its job. And your pancreas does a really important job. It helps to control blood sugar levels. So this can affect things like your sugar in your body, your blood, and cause diabetes, as well as the enzymes that help us to digest food. And finally, the immune system. Technically, it's not one particular organ here. Your immune system is made up of your blood and glands, okay, that help to create the white blood cells, okay, and fight disease that we'll look at in more detail next in a few lessons time. So drinking too much can weaken your immune system, making your body a much easier target for disease. So pause the video and add those onto your diagram. Okay, we're going to pause the lesson at that point. Our second lesson is going to be about units of alcohol. What you can do for me at the end of this lesson or at the start of next lesson is have a go at on page, where are we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. On page 7, there is a true or false starter. So have a read of the statements and put T or F in them. Thank you.